What's going on, guys? 360 Digital Closing Bell, daily energy market summary here by the team at Oil and Gas 360.com here on this gorgeous Tuesday, October 20th, 2020. It is kind of a little colder day. We are coming to you from an undisclosed location here in Denver, Colorado. As always, I'm your humble correspondent, joined by the executive producer of the show, the purveyor of the show, and the director and publisher of the world's greatest website, oilandgas360.com, Stuart Turley. How you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, Michael. Beautiful day in the neighborhood, and we've had some fan mail.
We've had some fan mail, I guess. We've also had just a wildly busy day, guys. Of course, we're going to cover Pioneer acquiring or thinking about acquiring Parsley, probably the worst kept secret in the oil patch up to date. We'll also cover some natural gas stocks, which really moved natural gas markets today. There's some interesting other stuff. Talos Energy producing some Gulf of Mexico stuff, and just some other stuff we'll cover in the international news desk. Equities markets volatile today, again, off stimulus. But first, guys, just subscribe to our YouTube channel, Oil and Gas 360-Intercom, the place to stay up to date on all of your energy finance stuff. Hit that pesky subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And please subscribe. Do whatever make the algorithms go nuts. Really trying to make a push here. Subscribe. Send me a picture of it. We absolutely love it. And when we look at the overall equities markets today, guys, I mean, it was, when we talk about, indices opened, things opened green slightly. We are up about 1.5% as the session closed out. All indices closed just about 0.5 percentage point up. SPY was up about 0.45 percentage points. Nasdaq was up about 0.3 percentage points, 0.4 percentage points on the down. Really off the back of stimulus talks, guys, to give you an idea. Nancy Pelosi came out and said, hopefully by the end of the day, we're going to have something to in terms of today. But she's optimistic that a deal could get done before Tuesday. Now that really hasn't happened yet, and especially as we get closer to the market close, 30 minutes before the market closes, if there's supposed to be a deal signed and it hasn't happened, well, things tend to tail a little bit. So that's why while it was up, really over 300 points earlier in the day, we finished only up about 100 points. When we move over to the oil and gas, we move over to the oil market specifically. Oil was, up a little bit, up about 1.5%, 42.86, really off, really expected. Some good API numbers that are expected to go back into the curve. Those stayed fairly flat though, 42.86. That differential now has completely collapsed on us here. Curve getting really flat. So there's just some long-term supply and demand issues that I think are extremely hampering that. Part of the reason why I think you see crude oil price spike a little bit. Stu will cover OPEC's implementing more cuts. I mean, not only did they're pretty mad that cheating's going on, but Stu will cover that. But that's really what we saw in inflation of the price of oil. When we move over to the natural gas market, $2.91 for that front month, up 4.5 percentage points on the day. Again, off the back of one, changing weather, and 20-month high off of the back of LNG LNG exports are rising. So we'll cover a little bit of that. Stu's got some of that for us coming up. Back into the curve, stayed fairly flat there. So again, the things affecting the markets today have been really only on the front month. It's been short-term. It's been some short-term stuff back into the curve. $3.08, only about 0.3% on that index. XOP was up 2.2 percentage points. Good day for energy equities, 43.58. OIH was up 3.5 percentage points. People continue to watch our interview with Ron Geist over there at Liberty, up to 126 even. That's a good number to see right there. Liberty Oilfield Service, I'd be remiss, was up 3.5 percentage points. When we look at our biggest movers on the day, starting on the downside, NACO Industries down 4.5 percentage points. Sanchez Midstream, again, just tends to move with the way their Mesquite Energy, their upstream operator, goes down 10.5 percentage points down to 59th. And High Point Resources really expected to declare bankruptcy any point here. 16 cents. They're down 15 percentage points. On the upside, we have Houston American Energy Corporation. Doesn't get much more taxes than that. They had a good day, $1.75. Silverbow Resources, got to love them over there, $4.80, up 10 cents. And Gulfport Energy, hey, you can make 17% on one day if you declare bankruptcy, up to 26 cents. Please don't be trading that, guys. If you're actually looking at getting in, don't mess around with that. There's some wacky things going on if someone's declared bankruptcy and we see their stock moving. That just means this move was basically anticipated and this should have happened months ago. So, guys, don't take into account that. But, Stu, we've got a busy international news desk today. Can you give us a rundown?
You bet. Holy smokes. First one on deck is Minister of Energy in Morocco. They have spent over $5 billion in the last 10 years, and he says he's about to spend another $5 billion coming up. Looking at their GDP and all of their numbers, they ain't got the money. So the folks are going to have to come up with the money on their electric bill. This is going to be a perfect case study for the rest of the world to watch. Coming around the corner to Iraq, turning the corner fast is the horse named Iraq. By the third quarter of 2021, the national company of Iraq will be opened back up. This goes right into our OPEC problem. They are needing cash. Tension between Baghdad and Erbil has deteriorated. OPEC Plus does not know if they can control them. That goes right on around the corner to Russia. Coming around the corner in a hot speed is Russia's energy ministry today said it was too early to discuss about the future of OPEC Plus, period. The deal in December is because it is not known who's going to steal, who's going to keep pumping, and who's that. So around the corner comes the Russian prime minister. Now, it gets even funnier than that. As we're running the corner, here is China issuing warnings to all of its traders about natural gas. Russians trying to steal money from the Chinese. So you can't buy this kind of.
Well, you got to give me a little more in depth. What's going on with that one?
Okay. That is, China has raised a red flag over potential fraud risk in relation to oil traders involving Russian traders. So there's pipelines coming from Russia to China, and everybody's using personal emails to try to sell this gas. You can't buy this kind of headline, man.
Hey, right. it's just all via Gmail now. Anyone can spin up a G Suite account and start slinging natural gas on the side. That's unbelievable.
Hey, and the last one coming around the corner in the home stretch is nat gas and U.S. exports. I've been very, very bullish on nat gas exports. Looks like we had a big day, Michael, on nat gas, and it looks like U.S. exports fell from March to July, but they're heading around the curve and going up. So
yeah, and specifically as that weather cools and we enter winter, we're going to begin to export a lot more stuff because we're going to be drawing on all of our stocks. So I mean, when you talk about how natural gas trades, I mean that's why people, when they saw $2.20 back in July, were probably specific about, hey, we could probably see $3.50 gas as we move into. I mean, that's where those predictions come. I think we'll probably see $3.10, $3.20. Stu, I think your mark about $3.20 of where you see natural gas, I think that's going to be pretty spot on. I saw it was a good 4.5% movement up on that front month contract for natural gas. Again, got to look at the back end of the curve, though. So when we talk about front end of the curve was up, back end of the curve was flat. So when we talk about weather models, that's very soon. I mean, weather's changes like that. If you live in Colorado, we always joke, don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. It's probably going to be different. So when we talk about that back end of the curve only being up 0.34, 3.5 percentage points, that's why, long term, we're still seeing that 308 gas. I mean, I think we probably move up to that 320 mark, but I mean, I don't think that $3.50, $4 mark. It's gonna be hard pressed to see if we get up. When we move over to the U.S. shale patch, clearly there was a big deal with Pioneer and Parsley. But first, guys, Talos Resources, a little offshore player that we like to look with, actually drilled their first Gulf of Mexico production there. 50% working interest. They tied it back about 10 miles to GC 18 Whistler platform. They're going to go and start processing it. It's pretty good, about 100. Basically, they're going to be doing about 1,000. They pumped it 24. I mean, get this, Stu, 24-hour IP, 12,000 barrels a day, Stu. That's going to pay back nicely. So, partly why people are still drilling these wells, Stu. You dump up a lot of money, but I'll take 12,000 barrels a day. That's pretty good on the bottom line. As we mentioned, Stu mentioned OPEC Plus has really come out and said we're going to continue to make these cuts. It's partly why I think you see that front month contracts for crude oil, up about 1.1 percentage points. Testing, I mean, we were at 1.1 with 41.87, falling back, selling 41.52. Obviously the big news of the day is Pioneer in talks to acquire Parsley Energy. That's going to be a great Thanksgiving dinner at the Sheffields. I mean, I think this was the worst kept secret in the oil patch. I think anybody who's followed it, I mean, clearly, from how Parsley was started. Scott Sheffield starts Pioneer in 1997. His son starts Parsley in 2011. Now the executive chairman of that. I mean, they have pretty. I think part of the reason why this works, and I'll say that with quotes, is they have pretty cohesive acreage. Parsley is a pure Permian player. Pioneer is another pre-Permian player. I think this is the type of consolidation that you would say. I mean, this is sort of the opposite take of Concho. Concho had Concho and Pioneer are kind of coaguous. I don't know what that right word is, but similar size companies. The fact that they could go one way or the other, they could either purchase or they could buy. Now, I think this deal makes specific sense because one, it's families involved. Two, there's also pretty contiguous or contiguous. That's the word, contiguous. I'm not a wordsmith, guys. I barely studied engineering, so you got to cut me some slack here. But the average works. If you believe Twitter, word on the street is it's a $4.5 billion deal, which is about a $500 million over what their market cap is. Now, it's really about an $8 billion deal because you got to include their $3.5 billion in debt and working capital deficit. So that's that premium's lower than what we that premium, depending on what it comes out, is definitely going to be lower than Concho, just because Parsley's not quite as well positioned as Concho was. But I mean, Parsley's still a decently a company that's in decent financial shape. But again, I think this was the worst kept secret in the oil patch. I think everybody knew this coming home. You have any thoughts on this?
Yes, you just need to make sure you don't get the difference between inbred and nepotism. So there is a difference.
Yeah, I mean, family can do business with each other. I have no problem with family doing business with each other.
I think it's a great thing, actually. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, no kidding. Now moving forward, what does this mean for the patch? We always like to answer the question. Okay, well, what does this mean now? One, it takes off, probably one of the better left pure Permian players in Parsley, takes them off takes them really out of the map. I think, part of the reason, that didn't quite make our top movers, but Cimarex was up seven percentage points. I think they're the next mover, and I think analysts, this is kind of the word. I think Cimarex is the next mover to hopefully go out, and whether they're going to be acquired or whether they're going to be an acquirer, I don't know what that means, but one thing's for sure, I think they're the next sign of the last man standing when it comes to this. I mean, to give you an idea, their market capitalization is $2.7 billion. That's right in the opportunity to go ahead and possibly get acquired. I think a company like Apache should be someone to get acquired. I think the problem is they have so much debt. It's hard to get over that fact. I think the Cimarex has a decent enough balance sheet where I think somebody can come in and swoop. Specifically, I think an EOG Cimarex merger makes sense. If we had to gamble, Stu, I'm going to put my money on that. I don't know if you have a bet on what you think the next merger is going to be.
Cimarex got good management, good numbers. So
they did. You can check out. We had a great interview with, at the Oil and Gas Conference hosted by Intercom with Tim Jordan over there, the CEO. You can check that out on our YouTube channel, Oil and Gas 360 /subscribe. Stu, anything else that you've got on the show today for us? We missing anything? Is it sort of a busy-ish Tuesday?
It's been a busy day. I was hoping I had one of my peace deals, and I'm still hanging out for it.
Yeah, sometimes you just get left at the party, Stu. But for reference, Pioneer shares were down 4 percentage points. Parsley shares were up 5 percentage points. So Parsley shareholders, a.k.a. Brian Sheffield, loves this.
You bet. And he should.
He should. All right, and with that, guys, we're going to go ahead and get out of here and let you get back to work, finish your day. Thank you for checking us out. The world's greatest website, oilandgas360.com. For Stuart Turley, I'm Michael Tanner. We will see you guys tomorrow for the Digital Ticker.